Hey, so this is Alex Colmer with 14.3, my session plan and session review. So these are the aims of my client. So for the 6-week program, we were going to work on agility and muscular endurance. Agility was going to be measured by the Illinois Agility Test, which is what we're going to be doing in this fitness session today. And muscular endurance was going to be measured by a 1-mile run. Both of these will be done every 3 weeks, let's say. Once every 3 weeks, and to see if the client is improving or not. And they're specific to my client's sport because she does badminton. So her muscles are going to be working for a very, very long period of time whilst playing it. So they have to be very tolerant to those high levels, and agility so that she can move around quickly and get to the badminton shuttlecock so she can get it back and run, get it back again, and so on and so forth. And so for my session, my aims are to work on our agility and speed and get them better, hopefully. And so during the session, I hope to get my client to do the Illinois Agility Test and to see if they can get, do it once and see if they can get similar results, or they might be a bit worse, the results my client gets, once she does the test over and over again. Because her body will be a lot more tired, and her body will be a lot more tired, so she can't do it as quickly as she normally would, because she won't have the energy she had at the start to go through it and do it as good as before. Here's my risk assessment. So slips and trips, participants and staff overseeing are at risk. I'll control this by keeping a towel, so if someone spills something, you can clean it up straight away. And likelihood is 2 outcomes too, so risk rating is 4. Make sure everyone is alerted that there is water on the floor, or tell them to take care. Manual handling. So participants and staff again. Only lift what they can, and induction of participants in the physical activity. So the PAR-Q will be taken before undertaking exercise, so we know what they can do and how their health, if anything, affects their health. So that's a risk rating of 2. Participants sign and date the PAR-Q. Heat exhaustion. Participants ensure participants will have enough liquids for the duration of the training. They control the temperature in the gym and have an area, so if the participants don't feel very well, they can go out and make themselves good again. And staff to be first aid trained, so the risk rating will be 4 because the likelihood isn't that high, but the outcome is quite high, so yeah, it'll be 4. Have some extra fluids, actually necessary, have some extra fluids. Monitor participants the whole time. Hazards, again, the equipment breaking may cause sprains or strains. Participants are at risk there. Regular checks on equipment and recording of checks. Records of age of equipment. So replace any damaged equipment and make sure that you know everything's working and won't break during the session. The outcome of that could be quite bad, but the likelihood isn't very high, so it'll only be a 3 risk rating. Make sure the staff are trained to check equipment and specialists to come and test all the equipment annually. So that was my risk assessment. Here is my PAR-Q, so I'll just be asking questions about how good the client's health is and if she needs any special treatment, or if she can't do any exercise for a certain reason. all the tests like resting heart rate. So the average is 60 to 70, and my client's was 65. Average blood pressure is 120 over 80 milliliters, and my client's is 115 over 90. Average peak flow is 500 liters per minute, and my client's 550. And average BMI was 19, and my client's was 20. So my client's Georgia Upton. So she plays a high level of badminton and does a lot of physical activity, so she is pretty fit and will be able to do this session well. She has no major medical problems and doesn't have any particular needs. So my location will be in the sports hall for this. So my facility, I'm going to need the sports hall. Resources, I'll need a stopwatch, I will need cones and ladders. So for health and safety considerations, I will make sure that all equipment is set up right, and that my client takes off all of her jewellery, and make sure that there is no water on the floor so they don't slip. And also make sure that there are no stray things on the floor for my client to trip on as well. So I'll make sure that I know where all the fire exits are, and let my client know where they are before the session happens. And if there isn't enough people, or for some reason Georgia can't do the ladder work or the inline run, I will get her to go into the gym and we will do a spinning session, which will help with agility because it will work on the power up. It helps with the power up of her legs, so it'll get that much better. And muscular endurance, because we'll be doing that for a long period of time, so it'll improve that. So risk ratings. Oh yeah. So issues from risk rating would be slips and trips. So if there's any water on the floor, we need to be told straight away so you can mop it up so that no one slips over. And also the heat exhaustion, you need to keep an eye on client so that they won't injure themselves or get really sick or unconscious, and then we'll have to deal with that in our own way. So before the session, I ask her how she's doing in sports, how badminton's going, and I ask how college is going and how life in general is, so that just to start a conversation so that she feels comfortable being here. And I ask if she has any jewellery, and if she has any on, I'll ask her politely to take it off if she has any. So for the warm up, oh my. So yeah, for the warm up, the purpose of the warm up is to get the body to get heart rate up so that more oxygen and more blood can be sent to the muscles, so that there's less risk of injury, and that they won't be fatigued or anything during the session. So I will introduce a nice warm up. So we'll start off with a very light jog of about 9 RPE, and then we'll go into some dynamic stretching such as lunges. We'll do open and close the gait, quad pulls whilst moving, sweeps and sumos. So that will be my warm up for the session and my cool down. So we'll start off with a slow jog of 8 RPE, a really slow jog to get the heart rate down. And then some static stretching. So we'll do static quad pulls, static lunges, toe touches, back flexor, and And this is appropriate because it will let the client go back to her resting heart rate and all she needs before we did the session. So after the session, I will make sure that everything's packed away and put away neatly. Make sure that we don't do this quickly, and ask how she thought the session went, and do my peer feedback client review evaluation form. So again, here are the aims of the program and then the session. It'll be the same as before, but this will be, so after the session when we review it, we'll review how well she did in the Illinois run and the ladder work, and then we'll go through how Georgia thought that she did in the whole session, if she thought she was well or if she was tired or not. So here is my peer review evaluation form. As you can clearly see, I've done really pretty well. And here's my client review form. So Georgia thought I was a good motivator because I got her to work hard. And she said, yeah, I did give clear instructions about what exercise we were doing and how to do it. And it was a good cool down, and the it got her to the level of intensity that she needed to for the session, and she felt like she was safe. After the session, so she felt like she was quite tired and achy, but wasn't too bad, so that means she's working quite hard and doing everything right and well. And she said that the session was fairly easy, but it was mostly good. So strengths was from the client evaluation form and the peer review form. Some strengths would good skill and evaluation of key teaching points, good motivational skills, and the client was engaged. So for those, when I was doing it, I made sure that the client knew what was going on. I made sure that I kept telling them like how long they had left, and kept saying like, yeah, you can do this, keep going, and all that stuff. And yeah, made sure that it was all safe and they knew what they were doing the whole time. But areas for improvement, I didn't state the session aims, which I really should have done, so they knew what they were doing before. Didn't ask many questions, or did not get any answers back, because I didn't ask any questions during the session. And I needed to ask about medical conditions that my client may have had before the session, which I didn't do, so that wasn't very good. So next time I'll make sure that I've stated the session aims and made sure that I ask questions and get answers back, and make sure that the medical conditions are there. So for my program review, I will get Georgia, sit down with Georgia and go through how she feels after the 6 weeks, how well she's done in the Illinois agility test and the 1 mile run every time we've done it. Make sure that everything's going well, and that make sure that she's improved. So yeah, that's 14.3 session review and plan by Alex Calmer. Thank you for watching.